So let me know if you guys have had this happen to you. You're sitting in front of a nice wide open green, pins right in the middle, you got a short to mid iron in, you're thinking, man, I'm really gonna hit this solid. And then all of a sudden, chunk behind the ball, or maybe you thin the shot, you're just really inconsistent through contact. And man, that is super frustrating. That's probably one of the most frustrating things in golf. Well, in this video, I'm gonna break down a really easy drill that's gonna help you to make that clean contact in front of the golf ball every single time. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I got an awesome drill for you to help you take the divot in front. But first, we need a great way to have feedback. And I have this Dr. Scholl's, it's called Odor X Odor Fighting Spray Powder with Sweat Max technology. This is actually one of the really good ones. They make multiple kinds of these. This shows up really white on the ground. I also use this for my club face. You can probably see that on the camera there. I use that to show where you're making contact in the club face. So it's not only good for drawing lines on the ground, it's good for other drills in the game too. So not going to get into that in this video, but we will be using this for drawing a nice straight line on the turf here. And once that dries, it's going to be really, really white. It's a great way to see where you're making your divot in relationship to the golf ball. So let's start out by taking some divots in front of this line. That's the number one thing that we're working on here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set up as though this line is my golf ball, and I'm going to take my normal stance to get started. Now from here, I'm going to go ahead and drop my front foot back until it's almost touching my back foot. And the reason we're doing this is we're actually going to get that momentum coming through the shot in this swing. So if you want to take that divot in front, in the downswing, we need our momentum moving to the left, coming down and through the ball, and that divot is going to happen in front of that line. If we do this incorrectly, we're going to be falling back to the right. Our right shoulder lowers. Everything gets closer to the ground back here, and now you can see I'm going to want to hit behind this line. Or if I miss the line, I may flip to reach the golf ball and actually hit it thin. So anytime I fall back this way, really going to cause problems in the golf swing. So again, let's set up this line, drop the front foot back, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a step forward, I'm going to swing, I'm going to take a divot in front of this line, and as I follow through, I want your right foot to come all the way on around, just like you're walking down the fairway toward the green. So let's set up, put the feet together, I'm going to make a swing, brush the grass in front. I want to take a little bit more of a divot here so we can really see that, but you can see that started about right there, and then I brush the turf. That's completely fine if you're doing this, but I'm going to exaggerate it, maybe even take a little too steep of a divot here so that you can see this really easily. Again, that's way in front. You can see my divot started right there. That's almost 8 or 10 inches in front of this line. No way I'm going anywhere near going behind this line. I'm going to try one more just to give you a feel for what that would be. And again, you're seeing that that is in front. Now we can go ahead and do the same thing with a golf ball. So I'm just going to put a golf ball right on this line. If I make contact on the line or in front, I'm going to be perfectly fine. This is going to be a nice solid shot. It's going to be nice and crisp. If I make it behind that line, now I'm going to have a tough time. With this step drill, it's going to be almost impossible to make contact behind that line. So let's go ahead and try one out with a golf ball. When you're doing this, don't worry about if you don't hit one very solid. It's completely fine if you don't make perfectly crisp contact right off the bat. This is just to get that weight going forward. There we go. So now I hit the ball. Did I hit it perfect? No, it wasn't the best shot in the world, but I got so much momentum moving forward, I couldn't hit behind the line if I wanted to. And again, you see my divot started in front of that golf ball and in front of the line. Let's go ahead and go back now. One of the big keys with this is to always start without a ball. So we did, let's say 5 or 10 practice swings without a ball, then we hit a ball. Let's take the ball away again, get comfortable with this motion, build some muscle memory, and then we're going to bring another golf ball into play without taking the step. So again, I'm going to try to build that same feeling. Feet are close together, take a step. Divot was in front, my divot was way up here. I can even take a bigger divot if you want to, if you really want to exaggerate. Well, it's having a hard time. My divot's so far in front, it's hard to get deep, but you can see that is a nice clean divot well out in front of that line. So again, that's too far in front. That's a little bit exaggerated, but it's awesome practice for those of you who've been going a little farther behind the line. Now let's make this like a real shot. So here, I'm going to set up like I would in my normal stance. Now I'm going to have the same feeling. As I come through this shot, I want my right toe to be the only thing touching in the follow through, and I want all my weight on my front foot. If I was to pick up my back foot, I would be able to balance there for about a half second before falling back. That's ensuring that I'm getting the same type of forward weight shift that allows that divot to happen in front, just like this drill. So let's go ahead and set up, try a normal shot now and see how that goes. There we go, divot right in front. Again there, that divot started almost 2 or 3 inches in front of this ball. That means I was coming in really shallow and getting the ball contact first. Let's go ahead and try this one more time, and I'm going to give you one more key to focus on here that's really going to help with this. Now we talked about earlier how if you're hitting a divot behind, that right elbow or right shoulder is dropping lower to the ground. You can see this moving down. When that happens, look how much closer my right hand gets to the ground. Look how much closer my club gets to the ground. Now I'm geared up to hit way back here behind this golf ball. Again, if I do that, I'm either going to chunk the ball like that, my right shoulder goes down, I hit a big divot there, or if I happen to compensate perfectly, that right shoulder drops, maybe I hit it thin like that, I didn't chunk it, but man, I barely hit the ball, hit way off the bottom of the club. So the focus that I want you to have with this one is, let's go ahead and set up with that golf ball there again. And now I'm going to work on my right shoulder in the follow through. As I come through the shot, I want my right shoulder to be high and facing down the fairway as much as I can. If you're not as flexible, it may be going to the right rough. That's completely fine, but I want the momentum of this going forward. I don't want the momentum going down, and then I won't be able to finish my swing. If I get that momentum forward, I'm really going to be able to get that divot in front. So do a good 10 practice swings again, set up to the line, work on that right shoulder going forward. Now you have that divot in front. Do 10 of those just to get that muscle memory, get that feel with that. Then we're going to go back to the golf ball again. Put it just on the front side of the line. Now all I'm working on here, I've got a feel for the momentum forward. I've got a feel for my right shoulder going forward. I'm just going to recreate that same muscle memory. There we go, right down the middle. Best of luck, guys. Go through those drills. It's going to make a world of difference. Hey guys, hope y'all really enjoyed that video, but I've got an even better one for you. One of the toughest things to do in golf is to stop getting ball bound and allow yourself to release that club through the ball, just letting the ball get in the way. That's what we call the straight line release in the Top Speed Golf System, and I've got an awesome bonus video for you. So if you go ahead and click the iCard that's going to pop up on your screen or down below in the description, you'll get instant access to that full video. Let's go ahead and get started with a straight line release. A common misconception I see is that we want to create lag and we just want to hold that lag all the way on through contact and get as much lag as we can coming through contact, and that's simply not true. In the release section, we're going to talk about how to turn that lag into energy, how to turn that into speed so that you can hit it very far and do it, like we mentioned, without hardly any effort at all. And as we're coming through contact, we're going to fully release this angle as we're about 45 past contact. So if I draw, a 45-degree angle, I should be looking at both arms, nice and straight, the club splitting those arms, so that by releasing the club, by getting this angle to release as we're coming through contact, that's what's going to create the speed. Our hands are moving a very short distance, our club is moving a very long distance through contact, and it creates that whip-like effect. Very different swings hitting the exact same position. So first let's take a look at Dustin Johnson releasing the club 45 past. And the reason we're going to see such different swings producing similar positions is that this is the real physics of how this has to happen. Here we're looking at Sergio Garcia. Again, we're going to see tons of